You are listening to the Amnicon Studio podcast, where I share my crafting and fiber adventures, homestead tales, and anything else I might be up to. My name is Marcy. Welcome. Hi everybody, today is Friday, October 18th. Welcome to Amnicon Studio. Just fair warning, I have the birds out right now since it's a nice day outside. You may hear some crows from the Roosters. They decided that they needed to let themselves be heard. A crow-off war, if you will. I have just a few things to share with you today, so it may be another short episode. I wasn't doing a lot of crafting other than just a couple of things, and I have some spinning to share. And I am actually flying without notes today, so I might be a little scattered. First thing I want to share is the spinning that I did for Spin Together, which ran October 6th through the 12th. I was aiming for consistency because I'm spinning for a sweater pattern for my husband, and I ended up with 457 yards of hand spun. I didn't do as much spinning as I would have liked, but that's okay. I ended up spinning 8.53 ounces of Corriedale fiber that I purchased from Paradise Fibers online. And I'm really pleased with how this turned out. I haven't washed it and set the twist yet. I wanted to show this to you guys first before I did any of that, but let's see. I'm trying to, there we go. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. And I started spinning a little bit more the other night. I thought I would try to do a little bit of spinning every night in front of the TV. And thankfully, I don't think I'll need to spin as much fiber as I previously thought. I learned how to properly measure hand spun with this competition. The Spin Together website had a link to an article that shared how to measure, which was, let's see if I can remember this. You hang it and you measure from about the middle of the loop to the middle of the other end. You measure that, let's see, multiply that by 2, multiply it by something else, and then divide it by 36, I think. And I was just blown away by how much I had managed to spin. A few months ago, I did some hand spinning for, I forget what kind of fiber it was, and I was disappointed at the numbers. I had set the twist and had the yarn hanging out in my front yard on a dryer, and wrote how much I thought it was at the time, and somebody said, "Is that it? Because that looks like a lot more." And I said, "No, that's it. I'm sure, because I have, however big the nitty knotty is." And I mean, I even got out a measuring tape and I was measuring it and going around and said, this is how much it is around. And anyways, I learned something new from this competition, and I had a lot of fun with it. And now it's kind of got the mojo back for spinning more for the sweater for my husband, and I'm just glad I don't have to spin 4 pounds, 4 ounces for it. At least I don't think I will, because I'm just blown away by how well I was able to do that. In my cup today, I've got apple cider, because it's October and it feels like a good day to drink apple cider. The main project that I've been working on is my Leah sweater pattern. Free pattern off knitty.com. Of course, with the light and the dark yarn, you can't see how well that looks in the picture. I'm having a love-hate relationship with this pattern. I love the sweater. Maybe hate is too strong of a word for the pattern, but I have worked with better patterns. Oops, sorry. I ran into another hiccup with the pattern. The last time I talked, I said that the chart didn't make sense with one of the increases, and that was an issue that somebody was able to help me work through. Well, the last time I was on here sharing with you, I had worked up to where you divide for the neckline. And I kind of held off on doing that till I could really focus, because this is a new thing for me, and I tried my hand at it. It didn't quite work out the way I thought it would. I went, this is just par for the course for this pattern. I seem to have nothing but problems with it. And even though I had counted several times and was putting the armholes in the wrong place, I counted one more time and realized my count was off. And I'm thinking that I was counting from one of the stitch markers that I had used to mark the chart of the cable pattern on the front. So tink, 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 tink back, and went on. I mean, for a while there, I was asking, does anybody know how to figure out how to do the armholes? I don't know exactly what it's called. I know what I want to do, but I'm not sure what it's called, and I tried Googling it, and I couldn't find anything online except for Elizabeth Zimmerman's easy method for figuring out how many stitches go to this, that, and the other. And I just wanted to know, if you have this many stitches, how many stitches do you knit over before you start casting off for the armhole? And I'm still a little scattered brain from it all. So I never did find what I was looking for, and one of my knitting friends, a knit sib, she pitched in to help me, and she was she cast on the amount of stitches for this, and she was kind of working through it, and she said, this doesn't make sense to me either. She said, if you add this, and then do this other bit, you get way too many stitches, and that doesn't make any sense. And another part, she said, well, if you decrease, I forget how many stitches, you wind up with extra stitches at the end, and that doesn't make sense either. And I thought, I feel vindicated, because more than one person has told me this pattern doesn't make sense. So it's not just my brain. I decided to go on faith and just kind of follow the pattern intuitively, I think, is the way to go with this pattern. I don't know if whoever wrote the pattern had written any patterns before this, or if I don't know what goes on with like tech editing for patterns when a pattern's accepted somewhere. But I feel like a ball was dropped somewhere. Because if I was a complete newbie trying to do this, there is no way I would have been able to make this pattern, especially if I had to intuit. And the one row that was giving me fits, I had to go on faith and intuit that she meant to, okay, you go around and you do this, but then you continue on. And she didn't say that you need to go past the beginning of the round. So I went by that, and things worked out, thankfully, because now I've got the whole body of the sweater done, and all that's left is the sleeves. And I say that optimistically, but here, let's see. I have tried this on, and it fits the way I think it's supposed to fit. It fits pretty snugly. I left really long ends just in case I needed to do something. And thankfully, when you do put the sweater on, I'll always wear something underneath the sweater just to be safe. But I mean, you can't really see through it like threadbare. So I'm kind of excited. I have fallen in love with this pattern again. And I did a 3-ring bind off for the tops of the shoulders. Very happy with this so far. And who knows, maybe by the time I record again, the sweater will be done. And I have something off the needles, and it's not my nanner socks. I have not touched that since the last episode. I was on Instagram, I don't remember which day, and somebody linked to a pattern, and I clicked on it. And at first I wasn't really sure like why they were saying what they were saying about the pattern, because it confused me when I read the description of the pattern, but I decided I really liked this one and I was going to knit it. I think it was last Friday. And I finished it on Monday before work. I cast off. I made this hat mostly on drives to town and back. I can't remember why we had to go to town so much, but we did. And I used that time and I cranked it into high gear. And this is the result. And the hat looks a little sparkly because I used With Love Metallic by Red Heart. This was some yarn I purchased last year, maybe about this time or not. Anyways, I had bought it for actually a different hat pattern I was test knitting, and I have no local yarn shop. I have Walmart, and that is about it, unless I order online or I want to drive to a place where there's probably really crappy parking, and I hate parking in congested areas. So I thought what I could do was double up this yarn to make a bulky, and it didn't work out. But I love the yarn still, and it's really soft, and I like that little bit of sparkle. So I kept it, and when I saw the pattern, and I shared it with a few of my friends and had a few thoughts about it, and I decided I was going to use this yarn for it. And it's also going to replace a CC copycat hat that I made a couple years ago, and I love that hat. I had made it out of Cascade 220. Somehow it got in the washing machine, and even though it's superwash, it shrunk. That's the second time I've had a hat go into the washing by mistake and shrink. And they were both my favorite hats at the time. The first one was a bramble hat from Knitty.com. I really like the early Knitty.com patterns, what can I say? But I made that out of Malabrigo yarn that was given to me in a swap. I love that hat. I wore that hat all the time, and I have no idea why I would have gotten into the wash. Maybe something got spilled on it. I don't know, but it was ruined, and I was very sad for a long time. Anyways, this hat, I didn't print out the pattern, so I can't give you any specs on it. But if you look up Trumpeter's Toque pattern, you'll find it. And let me try it on. See if you can, I don't know how a toque is any different from a regular hat, but it's kind of, well, slouchy. I don't know. But I love this hat. My husband said it looks good on me. And of course, on the camera, all I can see is the sparkles, not so much the cabling. There is one thing that I'll be adding to it. I haven't blocked this or soaked it or anything yet. I'm looking for the thing, and I went up to Hobby Lobby yesterday and I picked up some of these, and I'm going to put one of these on this hat. And when I was up to Hobby Lobby, when I got this, I actually picked up some other red yarn, and I'm going to make myself another CC copycat hat. I got to find the pattern. I know there's a few different versions out there, and someone I know made a pattern, but I think the brim was brioche knit, and I don't know how to brioche. So, and when that hat's done, I'll stick one of these on there too. So yeah, beautiful hat. I don't know any of the specs because I didn't print out the pattern. I took a picture off the computer so I would have it with me when I could work. Let's see. That's it. Oh, I forgot. I pulled this off out of my bag because I wanted to show you the Corriedale fiber, and then I forgot to talk about it, but it's been really nice to work with. And it's got good wool fumes. Let's see. Like I said, no show notes this week. Usually I spend time writing things down that I want to talk about, but it's later in the afternoon and I have a couple things I need to take care of before my son gets home, so I thought I'll just record and worry about that stuff later. Let's see, my week. I said it's been quiet. On Wednesday, I decided that I was going to take yesterday and today off, and I would spend it doing stuff that I wanted to do, fun, crafty stuff. I spent most of yesterday running errands. And it's fine, because now hopefully I won't have to go anywhere for this weekend. And then today, I'm a few weeks back, my husband said that he would absolutely love it if I did this one thing for him and then it would be his Christmas present. And I said, okay, I'll give it a try. I'm willing to try almost anything that kind of, what's the word I want to use? Exercise my brain a little bit. And learning. I like learning. So the thing that he wanted was for me to program a couple remote fobs for his truck. Because when we purchased his truck, it wasn't that it was like a really quick transaction or anything, but we had like limited time that we were doing this, and we didn't realize till the end that there was no fobs with the vehicle. And then of course by that time the dealership said, well, if you want those, you're going to have to pay more. It's like, no, we can live without them. But my husband did some research online and found that you can do it for yourself without spending the $300 or whatever it is at the dealership. I said, so he told me about it, and I said, okay, I'll give it a try. Last night I installed the software on my computer, and this whole thing has been a reminder of, if it says, oh, it's really easy, it just guides you right through it. That is the stuff that I have problems with. It's all that, the stuff that they make super simple so that people who have no technical background, skills, capabilities, whatever, can do it. That's where I struggle. And I don't know why. That's just not how my brain works. My brain expects things to be more difficult than they are. And this did not disappoint. So I got the software installed, which was not as easy as the website would have said. And so this morning I waited until it was a little warmer out and a little more light out, and I started futzing with the stuff with the truck. And 2 hours later, I got I got it going. I got the remotes programmed to the truck, and I recorded a little video and I sent it to my husband, and he said, "Frickin' A, I love you." So, yay for me for doing wonderful things, but I you never know what you need to know in order to do something, if that makes sense. I had to figure out what engine family the truck's engine belonged to, and that was like 15-20 minutes of research to figure out what it is that it's called that I'm supposed to be looking for, and then where can I find it on the truck? Because I was looking through the truck handbook and the VIN and all that, and it's a little sticker under the hood of your truck, and I think mine is 1UEF or something. Who knew? Who knew? But so that's where a lot of my morning was spent. Cooking in the kitchen, I have not been doing a lot. I'm still trying to get a routine going. And yeah, that's where I am with that right now. We're eating a lot of venison. Oh, which last weekend we had a successful deer hunt. So yay. Uh, and we were able to find the deer before the rain really started pouring down, which is always good. So I'm trying to think of new creative ways to use ground venison. Last night I made spaghetti sauce. And today I am. This is my second time smoking something. My husband said, "We still have one of those pork rib racks in the freezer. If you want, I can pull it out and you can smoke it since you're going to be home all day." And I said, "Sure, why not? I'll give it a try." The first time I ever smoked anything, he was here kind of holding my hand, and now I'm doing it all by myself with nobody to say I'm doing it right or not. So, well, you can't see anything because it's on the deck over there, and I should keep my eye on the temperature gauge so it doesn't get too hot. Yeah, it's a really nice day. The wind's kind of blowing though, but it's really nice to hear through what few leaves we have left on the trees. And I'm trying to let the birds have as much time outside as they can, and then also to not dirty up the fresh bedding that I put in their coop, because I cleaned their coop out Wednesday late afternoon. So they're all happy about that. The two younger roosters, the darker ones, I don't remember if I said in the last episode, but they found their voices and they're crowing up a storm. And I was holding one of them about an hour ago or so, and realized that they've been fighting a little bit because his comb was a little mussed up, and he's kind of pathetic looking. Let's see, baby buns are in the house, getting socialized and used to people. And yesterday morning, I was sitting out in the living room. I'm usually the first one up and out and enjoying my coffee, and I was working on my sweater, and I saw a little rabbit hop out of the corner of my eye, and I looked over and said, "What are you doing?" He looked at me and I thought, oh, great. They, I didn't think they were that old yet, but maybe it was just luck that that one managed to hop out of the tote that we have them in. And of course, when I tried to go around and cut them off from running down the hallway to the bedrooms, it did a mad dash right into my craft room, right behind my desk. And my desk is one of those big, it's wide, long, and then it's got a hutch on it. So it's not like I could easily move it or anything, but went behind there, and of course you can't get them out. And every time I went in there, she was like 6 inches away from the space behind the desk, and as soon as it saw me, it would run right back in. And at one point, my blocking mats, I attached a couple blocking mats, and I was able to put it behind where you have a monitor. That space is open to the back. And I was kind of putting it down there, trying to like get it so that the rabbit would come out, and the rabbit did finally come out, and I was able to get behind it, chase it into the living room. Although it ran off ahead of me, and I made sure all the doors were shut, and then it went behind the couch. I was able to get it out from behind there, and it ran back down the hallway, but this time I had the door shut, so I was able to catch it and put it back in with its siblings. But yeah, I was not a happy girl for about 25 minutes. Well, more than that, because it was 20 minutes after my boys left that I was able to catch it. And let's see. This weekend, we may go out to the local corn maze. My son has been bugging me to go for the last 2 or 3 weekends, but the weather's always been crap. And there is not supposed to be any rain, knock on wood, this weekend, so I may take him, as long as he's a good boy to me and doesn't get too lippy. So that is about all that's going on in my area. Let's see, a little bit of house cleaning. I mentioned that I'm trying to get back on some sort of schedule. I decided that I wanted to do a episode every other week, and this week is a good week for me, and hopefully I'll be able to continue it from here on out to publish or record every other week. I'm not sure when I'm going to publish. It depends on how busy my weekends are and how big the files are and stuff, because I have slow rural internet. And it takes a lot more to record a podcast than one might think, especially if you want to add the fun stuff to it. Although I know there's a few things out there that you can just record and it'll, you hit a button and it'll add music to it and all that. And I am still learning some of that stuff, but in the meantime, I'm not very fast at some of that stuff. So, and hopefully next time I'll have a finished sweater. We'll see. Yeah, that is all that's going on. So take care and have a great weekend. Have a great week. Until next time, bye.